Hello everyone and welcome to episode 11 of the From Surviving to Thriving series, stories of real people overcoming real adversity. And today I'm really excited to have with me, one of my besties, Kelly Rennie, who we've known each other for over a decade now, haven't we, Kel? And I'm really excited to have you with us today because we've got a really...
Yeah, it's quite scary actually.
Yeah, I know. Especially with some of the memories popping up on Facebook of our old lives. But, you know, I've shared...
I know.
I've shared with you a really long journey now, I suppose, of where you've come from in terms of not being a very well person when we met over a decade ago to us starting to get into weight training together. You know, I remember those first weight training sessions. We were just absolutely loving it and in a completely different place to where we're at now. And watching your whole journey, you know, the transformation that you've had is really amazing. And then how you're using that to help people now is really inspiring. So yeah, just over to you, I suppose, in terms of a bit about you and where you've come from that point, I suppose, up until now.
Gosh, that's a real big question. But I suppose Carly met me in my early 20s. I wasn't in the fitness industry at all. I in London. I was a personal banker. I was in the financial world. But one thing that probably wasn't good about that period was my health. At that time, I think I'd probably, been on every diet, partied too much, been overweight, underweight, and unfortunately that did have a massive impact on my mental health. So probably when Carly met me, I probably wasn't in a very good headspace. I was medicated. I was suffering, chronic panic attacks and even agoraphobia. Doctors had me on medication for about 3 or 4 years in those early days. And suppose I just didn't know where to head where I was at that stage. And, lucky I had some important friends. Carly was one of them. And during my 5 years in London, I was tested many times. And I think I was 25 or 26 and I decided to move out of London. And it was actually Carly that gave me a book. Can you remember what it was called at all? You gave, I think
was it the Sandy Forster book?
I can't. Yeah, it was a Sandy. And I moved to Sheffield, and I was in a new headspace, and Carly actually gave me a book at 26, and I thought, you know what? I'm actually going to sit down and write down my goals. And I'd always, before my mental health, in my 20s, I love sports. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to compete. I want to get on stage. And I thought, and I'd also write these big goals underneath. I was like, oh, imagine if I had, Kelly help others. And I basically stepped into the fitness industry, and cut a really long story short, 16 weeks later, I placed third in the UK for natural figure.
And I remember working with you on that goal because I remember exactly where I was. I was away somewhere for some conference and I was in a hotel room coaching you. And I remember your goal being to win first place, I think it was, or third place, or get on stage at that very first fitness competition.
Yeah.
And you smashed it, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah. And every day every day, and I used to imagine myself shaking the person's hand saying thank you for the trophy, and I envisioned that. And I also just self, if other people could do it, so can I. And it was a real realization that whatever I was creating within my mind, and that year I moved from the financial industry to the fitness industry. And I basically, created a vision that was in my head to reality. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't easy, but I think I was one of the first fitness models in the UK to soon after, I was in, you know, magazines, all my magazines, you know, inspired by, you know, they were standing alongside next to me at the vision for what I was about. But I did have to go through more adversity to create that. But yeah, fitness, that's when I came off my medication. I think I gave up drinking for 6 or 7 years after that, and really moved into a new world. I think that's what you would say.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's a tiny bit of the start of it. And do you want me to carry on?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So that two-year period, I started to compete. I got sponsored. I started to work with big brands. I really got myself out there. I was really good at self-marketing and really networking in the industry. And I think that's something that I definitely say is a big part of how I got to today. I really put myself out there. I'm a big believer in if you don't ask, you don't get. And don't get me wrong, you know, I was turned away many from publications, but I really put myself in a position where I would a good promotion for top brands out there. I had my first child. I wrote a book, The Fit Mummy Manual, and soon after that, I actually became I was old and unfortunately had to pack up my life. I'd owned 2 gyms with my ex of 8 years, and I had to start all over again. And I suppose this is where the adversity came. Once again, Carly was there to help me. I was in a very, very bad place again. I think I remember ringing you the night that I actually started to have panic attacks when I had to leave the UK. Yeah. You know, and Carly talking me through, you know, exactly what was going on with my body and my mind, because I'd sort of felt, you know, my life had basically turned upside down again. You know, I was like, wow, I'm a single mom. I've got to leave these 2 gyms behind, and I literally did. I had to pack up my stuff and move back to New Zealand with a 5-month-old. And as much as it probably took me a good 2 years to get over what actually happened to me, that's actually where my business was now created, which was Busy Mum Fitness. You know, and I did actually get back with my ex and have another. I had 2 kids in 2 years. It was quite hard, very hard, not advisable for most. But I'm really thankful because I took on a coach when Eden was 8 weeks old. So I had a 1-year-old and a newborn, and I started my online programming. And I'd obviously done online fitness for a while, but my big picture still wasn't there. And I remember one day just literally swearing to my coach, just saying, I can't do this. I'm a busy mum. And it really all came from that moment. And literally right then and there, I went and bought the URL Busy Mum Fitness. And I literally changed my logos within a day and started to sell a new program. And I, from that day onwards, basically sold my programs out because gearing at a niche that I could speak to, meaning that I could relate to. I was going through the things that every mum goes through. Emotional eating, not being able to make a gym, bad habits, and therefore I created a sustainable program for busy mums around that aspect. And yeah, I've now been doing that for just about 4 years now. It's been an incredible journey and I love what I do. We've changed thousands of mums. I have a massive team behind me, 4 salespeople, 2 assistants, IT staff, and yeah, we just launched into Australia. We're about to launch into America in December, and I know I'm saying it like really quickly, and don't get me wrong, you know, the path that it's taken me to get here haven't been easy. I mean, I had to Eden and Bay last year. So I was running a 3-year-old, but he taught me more skills on how to who have a busy life and who want to get results. And yeah, now we've got to a point, you know, I'm heading off this weekend to speak as the guest speaker at New Zealand Fitness Expo. You know, I've spoken at every fitness expo around the world, Scotland, UK, Australia, now New Zealand. So incredible, an incredible decade. And I definitely, no matter what adversity anyone goes through, you can come out the other side on 10 times better. But you've actually just be able to make sure that you're creating that mindset of realizing that there's always something better, and not holding on to anything of, you know, people, negative people, moving on from people. You know, I hang around people who are what I call my soul friends, you know, people who I know I can have incredible conversations with and who are constantly lifting me up. And I think that's a big part. You know, your circle is who you want to be as well.
Absolutely. What advice would you give, Kelly, to other mums who maybe they've just broken up from their partner and they're finding themselves with 2 young babies, or, you know, whatever their circumstance might be, and their whole life has just kind of gone into chaos and they're not looking after themselves usually, are they, at that point? What advice would you give to someone in that position right now?
I mean, I think I really understand this, but I can't stress more that you drink the red wine at night, the more that you don't look after yourself. Going to be, and the only one that can change is you. You know, you need from family and friends. You need to put your kids in childcare and have off, because when you've created that happiness back in you, that's when you're going to be able to take hold of your health. You need to get into bed early. You need to reach out for help. Don't take everything on at once, you know, because sometimes you lead to adrenal fatigue, or, you know, but educate yourself along the way. You know, when I was in that period, I could control myself as if I changed my emotional state. And that sometimes used to be just listening to music, or listening to Tony Robbins or Wayne Dyer or Esther Hicks. Or even if I was at home, I just, you know, the only thing I had to do was change my emotional state to create a better mindset. And everything in life is habitual, everything, you know. And I went through a really bad couple of months where I started to drink wine. And I actually just saw that it was just a night thing that I did, until I realised it was just a glass once a week or once every 2 weeks. I couldn't ever think how I even got to any more than it. So, you know, that you're controlling this, and when a mummy is happy, it needs to be, and that's all a choice. It really is. It might be that you need a coach. It might be that you need a really but, you know, get the help that you need with the kids so that you can create some space for you, and then make sure you're dealing with your nutrition, and make sure that you're possibly getting, you know, if you are adrenally fatigued, you know, some adrenal support, you know, make sure you're hydrated, stay away from caffeine, stay away from alcohol. I know most mums are probably laughing when I say that, but any kind of stimulant that affects the adrenals is only going to make you feel 10 times worse. But yeah, that's just got to be the start of it, and then go away and create happiness. And whether that's journaling every day, whether that's, you know, remembering who your higher self is, and you do that either through journaling or you know, audio series or whatever it is, that has to be a must within your life.
Awesome. What would you say, out of the tools that you've come to know over the last decade, what would you say has been 1 to 3 of your kind of go-to tools when you're really not feeling good?
Journaling. I would definitely say I've learned to journal better. So I always, if I've got a really busy day, and so busy I probably should have started my emails through, I always make sure that I start my morning off with journaling. And I always start off with, this works out for me because that brings peace to my mind. I journal. I also walk. Walking is something that grounds me. I try and walk on the beach. I'm very close to nature. Really gets me feeling good. And I listen to audio. So as I said before, I listen to a lot of Esther Hicks. Going to take me away from my thoughts, control of my thoughts, and especially exercise. Like I actually did wake up today feeling a bit anxious because I've been so busy. Rather than sit there and analyze the thoughts, I went to a friend's. I did a 20-minute workout, and I was back to normal again. So journaling, walking, listening to audios, and exercising is definitely the 3 key areas to starting. But the thing is with journaling, is a reminder of who you want to be and what you want to attract. And I think that's really important to release that before your busy days ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you say has been the greatest thing that you've learned about yourself or the world through going through the adversity that you've gone through?
Create anything I want. It's not going to happen overnight, but I create with that we are the creators of our life, and everything's a choice. It's a choice to be happy. It's a choice to be sad, and that we have to take responsibility for everything that goes on within our life, basically. And there's many things in my life that I have to sit back and think. I always sit back and think, how did that come into my life, or how did that happen, or what has this taught me? But I definitely know that whatever the mind conceives, it really can happen. It's definitely not going to happen overnight, but if you're willing to put that hard work in, I shouldn't say hard work, if you're willing to put the work in that you love, then sooner rather than later, things will start appearing, and you'll realize that that's exactly what's happened in your mind. So you've got to control your thoughts, people.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so important, isn't it? And so many people are just not there. They're not even aware of what their thoughts are telling them. So it's really, really important.
And that can take that. Sorry, Karen.
No, go on. That can take a while, can't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, it can, if you've been thinking that way for many years, and you need to start thinking a new way. And I still have to remind myself every day. That's why I listen to a lot of education, so that I don't, let my brain go back. And it's just got to be constant education, constant people supporting in the right areas, and going forth from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you really do have to be really vigilant with your thinking, don't you? Because it's really easy to go back. Like you say, you've been thinking this way for a long time. If you're say 40 and you're only just starting to get into realizing the power of your thinking now, and you've been thinking that way for 40 years, it's not an overnight fix, is it? It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of work at first to really retrain your brain. Yeah.
Daily.
What would be some of your top resources, I suppose, in terms of people that you listen to, or audios? You said that you love audios and podcasts and that kind of thing. Who are your go-to people?
I listen to my best friend, Kat Lortezzo, a lot. A lot of people probably don't like because she comes across quite, how would you say, honest. But I listen to hers because in the end she also promotes about saying what you think, but she's also very good at giving step-by-step guidelines. But she's my best friend, so once again, I'm quite, as I say, surround yourself by people that are going to lift you up. That's why I'm friends with Carly. But like I have got a couple things, because I mean I've been approached by business people, so like now personally what I do is I might go to big conferences every year, like certain internet conferences, but on a daily basis I just take it back to who I said before, Tony Robbins, Esther Hicks. I'm quite of the holistic approach. I'm very big into that aspect, but at the moment my go-to every month is actually someone like Esther Hicks or Abraham Hicks or Tony Robbins at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, and it
It's
definitely
actually business
changes,
stuff.
doesn't it? It changes kind of depending on where your head's
Yeah,
at. I find.
yeah. I mean, if we're exactly right. It's it at the moment. It's more so just keeping my thoughts in check and making sure that I'm just being consistent with the things that I'm getting and inviting into my life.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely find I go through phases where I listen to loads of Abraham Hicks, and I find them especially useful when I just need a bit of soothing, you know, when I don't necessarily want to listen to anything that is kind of putting my brain into learning mode necessarily, but if I'm just feeling not good one day and I don't really want to put much effort into it, I just find their YouTube videos and stuff just really kind of just chill my brain out. So they're a really good learning tool.
And that's what I've needed in the that's what I've needed in the last 4 months, is because I've been so busy during the day. I just wanted something to start off my day with. But education for me is something I search upon, but yeah, as you say, it's different as you go along.
Yeah, definitely. So Kelly, what's going on for you right now in terms of Busy Mum Fitness? What kind of programs do you have on offer for people?
Yeah, so our focus is our 8-week program. That's our VIP program. So that's the one where you are going to get all the support possible, the trainer phone calls, the daily coaching in an 8-week period. We've just launched a virtual gym, which is on the cheaper side, but it's more self-led. So that's a $47 a month, 28-day challenge program where you get your own program, home or gym, but you also do live workouts with me. And we have a free 14-day taster program as well. So the other 3 programs that we offer, the VIP 8-week is the accelerated to change your life and be a game changer in all areas. So that's one that was sold for 4 years now, and it's sold out every program. But we just wanted to also be able to create, another membership where people can come in and follow it themselves if they don't have, the money for the 8-week. But yeah, kept it simple. But yeah, we're just about to launch the virtual gym next week. So it's exciting.
That's so cool. Yeah. And so how can people connect with you, Kelly?
They can come to my Facebook, Kelly Rennie Busy Mum, or they can go to my website, busymumfitness.com. But yeah, Instagram, Kelly Rennie Fit is the one. Come and say hi. Any questions, let me know.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. It's been so awesome being your friend over this period of time, and just kind of thinking back to our antics that we used to get up to back in London, and thinking about our very first workout together and how weak we felt. The piddly kind of weights that we were picking up.
I think we went for a run. I think.
And just watching your transformation has been just really, really awesome. So I feel absolutely blessed and honoured to be my friend. And I look forward to watching all the amazingness that you've got planned for the next decade as well, because I'm sure
exactly,
going to rock the next 10 years too.
Absolutely.
Cool. Thank you so much for joining us today, Kelly. And people out there watching, make sure you connect with Kelly. I'll share all her links in the comments section below the video. And be sure to connect with her because she is amazeballs. Thanks so much, Kelly, and thanks everyone for watching.
Thanks.
Bye. Thank you so much for joining me today for my video interview series From Surviving to Thriving, stories of real people overcoming real adversity. If you're currently going through a situation that you're struggling to cope with right now, some kind of change or trauma in your life, maybe that's happened in your past and you're struggling to deal with, then I'm here for you, either via one-on-one coaching or through my online coaching program, From Surviving to Thriving, which I put together based on my own experiences of overcoming adversity and with the clients that I have worked with, helping them through their tough times. This is a combination of tools, quick and easy tools that will help you to transform your life, help you shift out of that negative mindset and into neutralising those negative emotions so that you can cope with what's going on and create a better life for yourself. Head on over to my website, coachcarly.com, where you'll find all the information you'll need. And if you want to get in touch, feel free to do so via the contact page on my website. I look forward to hearing from you soon.